The Protestant Reformation, a seismic shift in Christian history, did not erupt overnight. Its roots ran deep, nourished by the courage and convictions of men who dared to challenge the established order. Long before Martin Luther nailed his 95 Theses to the Wittenberg church door in 1517, individuals like Peter Waldo, John Wycliffe, and Jan Hus had already sown the seeds of change. These early reformers, driven by a fervent desire for a more authentic Christian experience, questioned papal authority, exposed corruption within the church, and advocated for the Bible as the ultimate source of religious authority. Their efforts, often met with fierce opposition, came at great personal cost. Yet their unwavering commitment to reform paved the way for the larger Reformation movement that would sweep across Europe in the 16th century. This essay will delve into the lives and legacies of these early Reformation heroes, exploring their contributions to the momentous changes that would reshape the religious landscape of Europe and beyond. In the bustling city of Lyon, France, around the year 1170, a wealthy merchant named Peter Waldo underwent a profound spiritual transformation. Disturbed by the church's growing emphasis on wealth and worldly power, Waldo renounced his material possessions and committed himself to a life of poverty and preaching. He commissioned the translation of the Bible into the vernacular language, making it accessible to the common people who were largely illiterate in Latin. Waldo's followers, known as the Waldensians, traveled from village to village, preaching in the language of the people and advocating for a return to the simplicity of the early church. They rejected the church's hierarchical structure, emphasizing the priesthood of all believers and the importance of personal piety and direct access to Scripture. Their message resonated with the common people who were disillusioned by the church's opulence and yearning for a more authentic spiritual experience. Across the English Channel, another figure emerged who would challenge the church's authority: John Wycliffe, a renowned Oxford scholar. In the late 14th century, Wycliffe began to openly criticize what he saw as the church's excesses and corruption. He questioned the Pope's supremacy, rejected the doctrine of transubstantiation, the belief that bread and wine literally transform into the body and blood of Christ during the Eucharist, and argued that the Bible, not the church, should be the ultimate authority for Christians. Wycliffe's teachings, disseminated through his writings and the work of his followers known as Lollards, had a profound impact on England and beyond. His call for reform resonated with those who sought a more direct relationship with God and a less hierarchical church structure. Although Wycliffe died peacefully in 1384, the church condemned him as a heretic and burned his books. His ideas, however, continued to spread, influencing later reformers like Jan Hus. Inspired by the writings of John Wycliffe, Jan Hus, a Czech priest and theologian, emerged as a leading voice for reform in Bohemia in the early 15th century. Like Wycliffe, Hus condemned church corruption, challenged papal authority, and emphasized the Bible as the supreme source of religious truth. He argued for the use of the vernacular language in church services, making religious texts and rituals more accessible to the common people. Hus's teachings attracted a large following, but they also drew the ire of the church hierarchy. Summoned to the Council of Constance in 1415 to defend his views, Hus was arrested, condemned as a heretic, and burned at the stake. His martyrdom, far from silencing his message, only served to further ignite the flames of reform. Hus became a symbol of resistance against church authority, and his death a rallying cry for those who yearned for change.